Hello everyone, it's Iveoma, your guide to Nigeria, and today I'm sitting with George, the co-founder of Nomad Money.
Hello, thanks for having me today.
Pleasure, George. Today I'm going to be talking to George about how he is building Nomad Money in the Nigerian market after relocating from London. All of this is coming up. Please make sure to like, comment below. Those are amazing ways to support my channel. Thank you. Why did you move to Lagos, Nigeria?
Well, I'm born Nigerian, but I moved to UK about 20 years ago, and I've studied, worked, and I've always wanted to come back to set up a business and just have a strong footing in Nigeria. So when the opportunity to set up Nomad Money came about, and it was just heavily focused on Nigerians and Nigerians in diaspora, I had no choice but to come back, to be closer to my customers, to come back to understand the culture again, and just be myself. Yeah.
What is Nomad Money?
So Nomad Money is an app that allows you to pull together all your bank accounts so you can track your spending, and from there you can save and put money into pots, and once you've hit your savings target, you can then invest. So we're bringing everything together into one singular app. So typically what happens is, as a young individual, you will have 3 or 4 accounts in your lifetime, and those accounts are scattered all over the place, right? So we're trying to say, you have your accounts in the UK, in the US, in Nigeria. We can bring all of those accounts together and help you monitor all your spending in one singular view. And then if you have savings target, like the year has just started, you want to buy a new car, a new house, you can put money aside. And once this money have reached the targets, you can then invest it in, like, farm investment somewhere. All of those things together in one app. That's Nomad Money for you.
Okay. So you moved back last year to try Nomad Money. Like, what happened that year?
First of all, we had regulatory issues with the banks and CBN and everybody else. So we couldn't raise money as well. So I had to go back to the UK in February of last year and just figure out what's gone wrong. So this time I've come back, we've pivoted, we have a better plan, we've had better connections, and I'm here for longer. So it's easier to get things together.
So first time you came back and Nomad Money did not do well. How did you not become discouraged?
That's the fight in me. I guess the Nigerian in me. We keep trying. That's typically what happens within most founders or entrepreneurs. You have that fighting spirit in you, and we sat back. And I've got a co-founder. I keep saying we, but yeah, it's not just me. But I'm the CEO, and I looked at the plan and looked at the issues that we faced, and those things are not impossibilities, right? It's just about having a different strategy, different way to tackling them. So that's pretty much what kept us grounded. But for the fact that I was born Nigerian, I have family and friends here, it's very encouraging to try and speak to them and say, how could I have done this? Help me out. I need to get to this person. Do you know who I can speak to?
What were the lessons that you learned in when you first came back and then you tried to launch Nomad Money and you had the barriers? What was a lesson that you learned?
First of all, whatever you have on your business plan, just for that, like literally, this is pointless, right? It's good to have a plan. It's good to understand how to go about things, but your business plan is just as good as you've written it, right? And secondly, you must be on ground. You can't run a business from being afar. You literally have to come speak to your customers and understand what they really want, right? And thirdly, run a survey, right? Even before you've invested time and money into it, just look for your target customers within your network. Ask them, right? Have a free survey and say, tell me, what do you want? What do you think about this product? Would you pay for it? How much would you pay for it? All of those things. But I think for me, critically, one has to be on ground. Just even though it's like 3 months, right? Just come down and spend time with your customers.
So that was your first mistake the first time. You weren't on ground.
I was on ground, half holiday, half working mode, right? You come here, dirty Christmas, party for 3 weeks, and then realize, they just try and do one work for like 2-4 weeks, and then realize that's just not enough time to actually get involved and free yourself with your customers. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your advice for other returnees then?
Nigeria is where to be. There's so much money here, and I think if it's for you, come back. If it's not for you, try and find somebody else to work with. right, who is willing to spend that time on ground. So my co-founder is still based in the US, but he's Nigerian, right? We went to school together and we've known each other for 20 years or plus. For me, I can afford to work remotely, so I can afford to be on ground, but he can't, right? So it's worked for us. He's building the app. I'm here doing the business side of it, right? So for everybody else, figure something out. If you're on your own, it's going to be hard, but you have to be here. Take time off work, use all your leave, and just come and just say. For me, that's critical. I think even with the investment, if you're trying to get fundraising or anything that's going on, the first question they ask you is, how do you understand if your customers are going to buy this, right? And you can only prove that by being on ground, right, and speaking to them, right?
What are some of the difficulties that you faced in the second time? Okay, so the first time you said it was the regulatory, CBN, and all this other stuff. Now that you've come back, you've relaunched Nomad Money, what are some new difficulties that you faced?
Trying to get the right resources in place, hiring staff, right? It's the number one killer for a business, right? And we've got some money to hire, but we just can't find the right resources. And secondly, is knowing who to speak to, right? Okay, I want to speak to the head of digital payments in CBN. How do I get to him, right? And if you're not well connected, it's difficult, right? And thirdly, I don't know how to say this because everybody else says this, electricity, right? Yeah, it's a big cost. It throws your cost out of the window, right? Literally, you budget and based on the UK plan, and you come to Nigeria and realize you have to run your generator every day. That's extra 10,000 naira that you haven't budgeted for. Some of the new things I have faced is you just have to switch your mindset to I'm not going back to the UK. I'm here. We're gonna die here, right? This is how it is. And once you've figured that out, it's easier to plow through the challenges that you won't face. Because for me, I hate driving at night because I get anxiety, the whole driving at night thing. And I just know that 6 p.m. I'm home, no matter what it is, or I'm being driven. And that's the only way I can figure that out. For somebody else, it might just be security, So you have to figure out your the things that you're struggling with and find a solution with the mindset that you're not going back, that you just have to get on with it.
A lot of the things you've told me is you come back and forth. So are you planning on moving to Nigeria?
So I've been here for 2 months plus now, about 3 months, and I'm going to stay put to, I think, next 2-3 months, right? And figure things out, make sure the company's registered. I've hired my staff. We've got an office space, all of those basic stuff that we need to do in Nigeria. We've got our licenses in place. And I'll go back to the UK for 2-3 months to close that chapter. And once I come back in, that's it. I'm done here for the next 2-3 years. I have no choice but to stay put, right? As a financial services, we were bound legally to have a tax presence, right? Okay. So I can't just be floating in and out. As a founding member of at a critical stage, we have to be on ground. So I think 2-3 years. First year, mandatorily be on ground every day. After then, I can afford to do the back and forth thing, but that's just going to be extra expense, right? And it's not good for family life. It's not good for settlement and all of those things. And then that creates a double taxation, thing for me, UK, Nigeria. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get to that point. Yeah.
The reason I like George's story is that at first he was bouncing back and forth, and now you hear he's going to relocate here for at least a couple of years. So that's definitely an option. I know people think that if they want to start a business here, they have to move, they have to jump, and they have to move back. But George is being responsible by coming back and forth, testing his business out last year, and then you hit a wall. Now you come back, you relaunched. So that's definitely a possibility for you guys. What has been the thing that you wished you knew before you came back?
The way you sell to customers in the UK and the US, it's completely different to how you sell to your customers here.
Can you give an example?
So on our website, we have a waiting list, right? And because we just launching, right? And that waiting list is to say, I'm interested in your business. When we launch and when you start issuing cards, I want to be one of the first to get them. In the UK, I probably would have spent just 10% of our marketing costs on that. But I'm spending heavily on Nigerians because they're very skeptical about financial services. Yeah. They're like, I want it, but I don't want it.
Yeah.
I want it, but I don't want to be the first to get it.
Yeah.
All of these things like that. So, and we have to change the mindset how we approach that, right? Yes, the waiting list is still there, but the way we've gone about is focusing on Instagram posts and trying to be more personal and speaking to individuals like yourself. It's like, say, Iveoma, hey, would you like to share this with your friends if this excites you, right? Things like that, right? So it's not going, oh yeah, one big blog and then we get 10,000 hits. That's not how it works here.
It's more like word of mouth here.
Correct. Yeah. Trust is a big thing, and trust, but in Nigeria, trust is huge. Right, whatever you say, people are taking with a bag of salt. Especially with financial services. Are you the next Yahoo boy? Is that the next MMM thing going on? Why would I want to sync my account? Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna track me? Like, dude, I'm trying to help you. That's how it is. Yeah.
So, how would you say people should market to Nigerians?
First of all, if you haven't lived here for a long time, and if you haven't visited for a long time, and if you're not on site for a long time, get a Nigerian who lives here, who understands that market very well as part of your founding team. Get somebody, a trusted ally who can be part of your founding team to say, this is how we do things here. This is Nigeria thing saying it's real. Like this is a whole Nigerian way of doing things. And I think that's something we learned very early on in the first half of trying to launch a business. So all our founding members were all Nigerians, even though we've lived in the UK for 20 years plus or in US, but we're all Nigerians and we understand what it's like growing up here, right? So we understand how to sell. And critically, most of our staff, our early staff, are all Nigerians, right? So they understand how to build and build fast, right? One advantage of being in Nigeria is labor is cheap.
Okay, so for people who want to start a tech company here like you, what is your advice to them?
You raise as much money as possible because it's expensive. So on one hand, getting your staffing cost is like lower, but the processing cost is quite high, right?
What do you mean by processing?
Building, to run your building, your power, electricity, data, transportation costs. And not just looking at monetary value, it's the time as well it's taking to get from point A to B. And people just not appreciating 2 o'clock at the meeting time. I mean 2 o'clock, not 3:30, right? It's all of those things, right? And secondly is security costs. When you post on your website that you've raised £2 million, your risk for security goes up at that point in time because people...
Are you serious?
That's what I've been told. That's what the consultants have said. Like you, at that point, you become a high target, right?
Do you mean your office or you as a person?
You as an individual.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Even though the guy who is coming to you doesn't necessarily know that money is not your money, but you have to be careful about what you post on social media and where you are at your location at any one time. That's just my personal take. But some people could challenge it, but.
No, that's real advice.
Yeah, so just be careful what you post out there. You got raised, yes, but don't be going out flaunting, I'm just at this party or this bar every day because you become a security risk for your company.
Wow, I never even thought about that ever until you just mentioned that.
For me, it's different because we're in financial services, right? We deal with money coming in and out every day. For financial services, I mean, you don't see the head of Access Bank walking on the street every day, like. It's literally because it's
a bag of money walking outside.
Okay.
I actually never thought about that. Okay, that's really good advice. What is your co-founder's name?
So my first CTO his name is Lolu Ojo, but we call him Lex. He's based in New Jersey, and we're trying to get somebody else on board. So we're at the latter stage of offering the contract. So I can't really disclose his name because it's not official. But by the time this might go live, we'll get it will be three of us. So myself as the CEO and the co-founder, Lex is definitely a co-founder, and one more person that's come on. Yeah.
Okay, so you are right now building your founding team. How can other people build that? That's really hard.
It's one of the hardest part of the business plan to get right. It's not just the founding team, it's the advisory team as well. Those who are behind the scenes, telling you how to go about your strategy, your marketing, your regulatory requirements. So I have a founding advisory team as well, right? So people have actually headhunted to come join the company.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's not just the founding team. It's a lot bigger than that, right? And you also have consultants who are behind the advisory team as well to give them the good advice on how to advise you, right? So it's a whole big board. For financial services, though, I don't know for smaller companies.
Wow. Founding team, advisory team, and consultants. That is serious. But you are in fintech, so it makes sense.
Yes, fintech is not just about financial services. It's not about just like swipe your card and they take the money. You have to report to CBN. You have to report to EFCC. You have to report to individuals themselves. You as a customer, you want to see that your money is being looked after, right? I don't know it all. I know this is a solution I want to give to you. I know when you swipe your card and you use the app, this is the customer experience you should get. How do I get to that point with all the tangents I have to go into? I don't know it all, right? And the people who have gone ahead of me and know it all, who are very good at it, or they have paid experts to advise them how to do it. I mean, it makes no sense for me not to leverage on that expertise and that skill set. So that's pretty much what it is. That's what advisors are there for. Yeah, they know it, they've done it. They might not know it all, but they know somebody who can get to that point for you. Just get them on board.
Okay, how are you networking in Lagos?
Before I came here, I had made efforts via LinkedIn. For me, LinkedIn is the key point. And also going to Nigerian business forums and business parties and business engagement. And you look at the list of who has been invited and you target a specific person. That's the key. You have to target who you want and why you want them. Spend time with them. Say, hey, this is me. Let's talk. Let's have a drink afterwards. I'm in town. I would like to speak to you. And most of the guys I'm speaking to, like yourself, I reached out to you before I came here, right? So like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. Just say, hey, I'm going to be in town. Let's have a drink. I like what you do. This is what I do. How can we work together, right? If it's not a case of me offering something to you, dude, I need your help. Like, just be honest. And they will tell. They can tell that you are trying to get somewhere, and if you've been very transparent about why you need their assistance, they'll help you. And so that's how it is. And just going out and just being part of the returnees group or Facebook group or the Facebook group for expats who are there, and just be sociable. Nigerians are very sociable, but just be like, dude, I'm just like you. I'm hustling. I'm trying to make a living. They'll always be embracing and just be it. But I think if you come with a lot of pretense, you're not going to go far, right? Just be sociable, and you're going to make mistakes. People are going to correct you. Just take it as part of the process, and you just get on with it. I think the key thing in networking is just being open to reaching out to people.
Everyone always talks about building a network, using LinkedIn, using IG, all this stuff before you come back. How do you leverage on that? Because it seems like you're really good at leveraging on your network, and a lot of people are not, me, myself included. Like, I'm really not.
It's a skill you have to learn, just how, like, you have to learn how to negotiate, have to learn how to pitch sell your business. You have to learn how to network. There's no way about it. And most businesses fail alongside lack of funding, but because they don't have the right individuals to push them through, right? Look at Bill Gates' story. His family, his mother helped him to get to where he was, right? And network is the key to unlocking doors. But you literally have to be out there every weekend, every week, every day, trying to figure out, how do I convert this LinkedIn ad, inclusion of my network, to money into my account? You really have to figure them out. And VCs tell you the same thing. Don't just throw your pitch to me, right? I want you to spend time looking at my website, the kind of businesses I've invested in, the kind of people I link myself to, right? And then come in that direction, come that way. And that's how it works. You just don't throw your business cards at everybody. It goes straight into the bin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you would say, if people want to leverage on the connections, think about their connections and think about like what they can offer their connections and what they can, how they can utilize their connection skills, and then, do some serious research and see how they can pitch themselves properly to their connections.
Yeah. And it's a case of luck meeting preparation, right? So that's just how it is. You can't expect it to be put on your table. You really have to go out there and spend that time. So having a business in Nigeria, like I said to you, I guess it's a global theory, but you cannot just think your idea is enough. It's a lot of work involved in behind the scenes, right? Recruiting, networking, sales, pitching. If you're fundraising, good luck with that. Leveraging, coming back from the UK and actually networking, I think is 10 times harder as opposed to living here and knowing these people from your everyday walk of life.
Especially this COVID thing really just messed up networking for real. So how are you finding networking during COVID?
WhatsApp call, video call, Zoom call. If you're not currently experiencing the Zoom call fatigue, but that's pretty much how it is right now. And also it's just looking at events, that are coming up and targeting individuals.
What events?
There's still events going on.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So one of the potential guys we pitching at business to get money from, I met him from an investors forum, and I just dropped in the thing like, I would like to connect with you. And he gave me his email address. Then I met him at an event in person because I knew he was going to be there from my research. And he met me in person. It's like, yeah, drop me an email. And that was it. And that's how we connected. So it's there. COVID has changed things a bit, but it hasn't made it an impossibility.
So is there anything you would like to add?
Nigeria is tough, but Nigeria is tough for those who are not well prepared. Nigeria is also abundant in resources if you know where to get them. Nigeria also can bless you so much financially with rewards but I think the key thing though is the mindset. If you come in mindset that if it doesn't work out, I'm going to go back in 6 months time, you're just not going to work out, right? Because you've already planned to leave already, right?
Yeah.
But if you come here and say, oh yes, it might not work out, it's going to be difficult, but I'm ready to fight it out for the next year or so. And if at that point it does not work out, then you can actually just pack and go, and people will be like, fair play to you, you've tried. I've come here on the mindset 2-3 years is my, like I was saying to you earlier off camera, 2 years is my critical point. I'm already investing time for the long term, right? So if it doesn't work out in 2 years, I'm still coming back, because I think 200 million people, Lagos alone, 40 million people. If you manage to get just 0.5% of that, it's a lot of money, coming in. But I know it's easy to say that right on paper, but that's how you should be thinking, right? It's like long term. How am I going to make this work? It's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy anywhere. As a returnee, you have an advantage over everybody else because you can tap into your diaspora market and expertise, and also tap into the Nigerian market. That's one advantage we have over everybody else. Don't take that for granted.
What are the next steps for Nomad Money?
So we currently, like I said, have released a waiting list. So you go on nomadmoney.app and you join the waiting list. You'll be one of the first to get to use the app and to test things out. And because of that, trust in us, in early trial, you get to have one of the best features going forward. So we give that privilege. And secondly, we're fundraising. So we're looking for up to £1 million to help us to launch the MVP and then to get all the full features. It costs money to get that MasterCard logo on your card and things like that, behind the scenes paperwork we need to do. So that's what we need that £1 million for. But in exchange for that, we're giving our equities, and we also saying you get one of the privileged cards and you get to shape the business, be part of the story going forward, right? So early investors privilege, all of those things. So that's what we're at right now. So yeah, reach out to me, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, anyway. I'm receptive to speaking to people. Drop me a line and then we take it from there. Nomad Money right now, it's growing, and our wait list is we have a few thousand people waiting to use the app. So we're very selective on who gets to use it first, but guaranteedly those people on the waiting list would definitely have a privilege over everybody else coming in, because you're giving us the first shot, right? So you're allowing us to test out things on you. So yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds so exciting. Nomad Money, the app is coming out in a few weeks. Everyone check it out. I think that sounds great.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's a privilege to meet you in person and to talk about the business. And I mean, I've watched your story for many years and going up, but not many years, many months maybe. It's good to be here, and thanks for giving us the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, George, for being here. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you ever want to return home, you can move to Nigeria, you can invest in Nigeria, and that's it. Bye now.
Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go.